Hey guys, it's Ryan. Hope everyone's doing well. Happy Friday. It is October 6th, about a week till my birthday, so I'm pretty excited. Anyway, today we're going to be talking about how to be an effective account executive, some tips on either how to get the job or if you're already in the job, how to be a little bit better. So if this is your first time to the channel, welcome. I'm a recruiter and career coach by trade, but I'm also a lead account executive for a quality assurance software testing company right now. And so I've worked in cybersecurity sales, I've worked in SaaS sales, I've kind of done a little bit of everything. Also done full cycle recruiting. I've trained recruiters, I've trained salespeople before. So wanted to give you guys a little bit, just some nuggets, some like little tips that can help you on your journey. And obviously hey, tech sales is booming because people have kind of figured out kind of what kind of that career and lifestyle can look like. All right, so let's kind of jump right into it. So first one is you need to make sure you have constant communication with your team. You want to make sure that you're building rapport with your team. Whether you have one SDR or 10 SDRs, you want to figure out also what's working for them, okay? How many are they talking to? You need to measure their metrics. Who are they talking to? What's their closing rate? What is their billing rate? But also, like, what phrases are they using in the conversation that are gaining the most benefit? And this is a great way that you can actually look into the 80-20 rule. What is the 20% of my SDRs or BDRs that are giving me 80% of the results? What are they doing specifically? It's a good one to kind of jump into. So make sure you're keeping communication with them. I like to run a morning team, morning huddle every single morning with my SDRs and my recruiters. I actually have two teams I kind of work with. So, and I'm always kind of asking, you know, have they planned out the day? And it also sets the tone for the day. Usually what I do is I give them like a half hour to get things ready, look at emails, set up their thing. And then by kind of 9:30, we have our morning huddle and then we talk about kind of like, hey, what do you got planned for the day? What are the leads that are looking to close? What are the things in the pipeline? What do we, maybe we'll do some role play that way. So you want to make sure you're building that team and rapport. And I don't mean just business sense. A lot of my relationships in my network are people that I've known for 10 years. Who I used to work with that were still good friends, right? So make sure that you always have your team's back. You know little things about them. You don't have to get too personal, but like things about their family. What are their goals? What motivates them? You want to make sure you have that and you have that awareness, okay? I'll give you guys another tip on being an SDR. When I used to do, this was like 6 years ago now, I was a commission-only SDR. And one of the phrases that I used was a very easy tone, and I had one of the highest closing rates. Very easy tone at the end of it for closing. I was very just like, hey, Mr. Prospect, hey, do you have time for just a chat, maybe 10, 20 minutes with our team? We have a product I think that could be beneficial to you. And even if it's not a fit now, maybe it'll be a fit down the road for you. You know, do you have some time next week, kind of just to check us out to see if it's a good fit? Very casual. And I really keyed in that even if it's not a fit now, maybe it down the road. And that was worth the investment to them. I kept it very casual, very light, and I had one of the highest closing rates because of that, just that simple one. It was similar to that. Wish I wrote it down, but it's similar to that one, so feel free to use that. Anyway, so next one. Let's look at this. You want to make sure you're bringing 10% more energy. 10% more energy. It's a mixture of relaxedness, confidenceness, but you're also not overhyped. If you look at like 80s, like Wolf of Wall Street, it's like super jacked, hype all the time, and people don't really respond to that. You know, their sniff test, their bullshit alarm kind of goes off if you do that. You only want to do 10% more energy, so it's really about mirroring the other person. And for example, if you go into a party, and if you kind of like are lower energy than everybody else, you're bringing everybody down. They don't want to hang out with you. If you're so high up, you're kind of freaking them out. So it's kind of good to be just above the other person. So whoever your prospect is, your lead, if you're doing a demo, have a little bit more energy, but not too much. So just a heads up. The other thing you want to do I love, this is like from Tony Robbins and other success people, is the act as if principle. Okay, which I don't know if people get it. If you're an SDR, BDR, AE, whatever, act as if you're already closing. This is kind of like assume the close. You're already closing, you're already doing well. And a big key point that people get wrong is that when they act as if, they're trying to act as like the most successful person or the person who's like the top biller, the sales leader. You should act as if and think as if the next level up. Not super far up, but the next level, okay? It's a lot easier for you to grasp. Your subconscious works with it, and it'll actually get you more sales. So don't try to be the top person. Just try to be a little bit better. Try to be the next level up, okay? So, like the phrase, 1% better a day. Don't try to get 100% today and overwhelm yourself. Just get 1% better. Oh, my wedding ring. Oh my God, I was washing dishes before. It's over there. Get my wedding ring. Hold on. All right. We're back. Got the wedding ring. Anyway, so next one. Perfect practice makes perfect, okay? Practice doesn't make perfect if you're practicing the wrong things. If you're practicing the wrong things, you're getting more ingrained on doing the wrong habits. Perfect practice makes perfect. You want to make sure you're doing this effectively. And the best way is making sure you don't confuse activity with accomplishment. You're looking sure it's equaling results. You don't want to be a person who's just busy. You have to be somebody who's effective. Okay? So perfect practice. The way you be perfect, practice a few times before you start doing calls or demos or talking with your team. Do some run-throughs in your head. Okay? Say them out loud. If you're driving your car and you're doing hybrid, it's so easy to do it. Like, do some practices on your way to work. That's awesome. If you're on the spot in the meeting, run through with your head. But you want to be perfectly practicing and practice in front of your friends. Maybe if hey, if you need a mock interview, feel free to hit me up. I do those on the side. But practice with a friend or colleague or your partner. Then you want to make sure that it's concise, it's effective. There's a call to action. It generates curiosity. It has all those attributes, okay? Next thing, as an AE, this is a very specific AE, look for the uncommon commonalities. Uncommon commonalities. What do I mean by that? There's a great scene in Mad Men, if you haven't seen that show, where he's giving a guy literally advice on how to be an account executive, which was very brilliant, but it's very true, where he looked for the things that he can relate to the other person that would be able to build rapport that most people don't share with. And this is why on LinkedIn, usually in my LinkedIn training, I talk about, look at like some of the groups, maybe they're an alumni or in the similar location, or somebody who's similar, or they have the same interest in the groups that you're doing, and you can bring this up as an icebreaker, okay? So the same thing with an account executive. Look for ways to build rapport that also make you stand out from the crowd, okay? Make it so it's memorable, all right? There's a lot, I could go on to this for 30 minutes, but look for ways that you can build rapport. And somewhere along the line, they might reveal something. That's when you kind of like talk about it like, oh, I have a similar interest, or I have the same problem, or something similar to that. So look for the uncommon commonalities. Great example, if you're not sure, go to the person's like LinkedIn or the company, something about their story. So it's a lot easier for me when I'm like kind of seeing resumes and stuff, but you can still go to their LinkedIn and maybe see something that's like, you know what, we have the same interests, and bring it up. And be sincere. I'm not saying being fake. Be sincere. Okay? Next one. Never forget a customer. Never let a customer forget you. Never forget a customer. Never let a customer forget you. This is very, remembering names and faces is so key. And as well as when you build a customer, it's building a customer long term. A lot of people in this world, in the sales world specifically, think about just getting the sale and that's it. I would recommend you can still provide services to that person long term. And I mean like 5, 10, 15, 20 years down the road. As a recruiter, during my 10-year career, I would place somebody. There was one person I placed 4 times in 4 different companies, and I would get constant commission on it. And I was very sincere, about everything that was going on, and he wanted to move. Great, let's see where you are, and we can place you somewhere else. But the same thing with sales, where you never know where a relationship can head down the road. Even something very, very casual. There's some people that were a client of mine, and then down the road, they actually gave me a job offer. Like, you never know where certain relationships could go. I'm not saying again, don't fake it. Be very sincere, but try to think long term. long-term selling and long-term relationship and network building, okay? All right, so when you're an AE as well, you wanna make sure that you're mirroring the other person, but also when you're doing your demo, it's concise, you're hitting all the key points, you're giving something where it's relatable, you're telling a story that is putting them in, they can see themselves using the product and how it would work for them, what are the benefits of it, but also you wanna make sure you're respecting their time. Respect their time, because usually whatever time you gave them, if it's a 30-minute allotment, make sure you're ending by like 25 minutes, so they have 5 minutes before their next meeting. Make sure you are prepared with all your product knowledge. You have objections, you know the objections. Sorry, excuse me, objection handling. You know the objections coming up. The common objections, but also every objection that you ever get, you should be writing down, and then finding out the solution afterward, and then making a list. You have your cheat sheet of like, hey, ideally you memorized it, that similar situation happened, and you can do this. The other thing is facts tell, stories sell. What I mean by that is facts tell, you should know your analytics, you should have data-driven solutions, for that person. It depends on who you talk to. Some people are a lot more emotionally driven, or sometimes they're more metric and operations driven. You should be prepared for both. But also, you want to have the data, but you also want to make sure you have social proof, proximity, you want case studies, testimonials, certain clients, and ideally you have a few stories in your repertoire that, hey, we had a company who was in your exact same position, this is what happened, and this is how we solved it. It's a great way for that to they can see themselves in the exact same position and see themselves using the services and solutions that you prescribe, okay? So, I think that's pretty good. But yeah, anyway, I'll end it at that one. I might have a few other ones that I want to say in the next video, but these are all tips that you can do. As an AE, make sure you're learning from each day, you're learning from your SDRs and BDRs, and it's kind of good also to step back into their roles once in a while. Don't be too proud. I myself still do cold calls here and there to keep up, keep your blade sharp. Sharpen the blade, sharpen your axe. That it's good to know, and also you find out what your team is facing so you can be in their shoes, okay? As an AE, you should be the best at being an SDR and a BDR as well. So hope that helps. Feel free to, if you need other extra tools, check in the link below. I give away free resumes, free scripts, free templates that you can utilize to kind of help you get the job or just elevate your sales career. Also, special shout out, if you guys want, I'm doing free group resume reviews with Tech Sales Ascension. You can get a discount on the link below. That's a whole boot camp, basically gives you everything you need, how to be a better AE, how to be an SDR, how to get the job as well. It's the whole thing. You can get a discount with my code, as well as I'm gifting, if you use my code, I give you a free one-on-one consulting session, okay? So you can use that to your advantage. Anyway, guys, hope all is well, and have a great weekend. Cheers.